Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jacob here, back at it again for another Cadence video. In this video, I'm going to be covering AuthAccount capabilities, which is a new feature in Cadence. Um, yeah, so they made an announcement in the Flow Discord, and there's actually a whole forum post about it. I'll link this in the comments if you want to give it a read. But what I'm going to be showing you today is first of all what it is, second of all how to do it, and then third of all I'm going to actually walk through the example contract that they gave as an example for why you would use this type of thing. Because it's a little long, it's a little complicated, so I just wanted to give you an overview to sort of give you a taste of what the Flow team is hoping this thing will be used for. And this sort of gets into the whole walletless onboarding concept that they're trying to push forward. So yeah, we're gonna cover all those things today. So first of all, what is it? Well, really interestingly enough, it's actually just one extra function call that you're allowed to call in Cadence. It's really just if you know capabilities in Flow, it's there's something in your storage, and you can either link it to the public or private paths. Well, this is kind of a similar concept, except it's for the actual entire account, or I guess the auth account type. So what you can do is write signer. You can sign a transaction where you get the auth account as always, and then you do signer.link account, and you can pass in a private or public path. Now, first of all, before I continue the rest of actually, I'll get back to that in a second. I have a little bit of a complaint about this, but I'll pause. So with private, actually, this is what it's supposed to be used for. You link your auth account to a private path, and then once you do that, you can then borrow it as a capability. So for example, you're seeing here, I first link account pass in a private path. Private means again that only you can access that private capability and give it to others, and then of course then they can borrow on it, but no one can, get the private capability. Only you can, right? That's how private works. So you can see on this line, then I'm testing this out by doing signer get capability, and it's actually a full-on auth account reference at this private path, and then basically with this code, you would take this capability to the auth account, and you would pass it to some resource or some contract which is handling child and parent accounts, which I'm going to get into in a second here. But this is how it's just technically done. So if you wanted to come to this video and just see how it was done in Cadence, there you go. You can also have a public path, and this is what I was going to complain about a little bit. It's actually extremely shocking to me that this is even allowed in Cadence, and actually quite disturbing. It's crazy to think that you're allowed to link your auth account to the public in such a way that I could literally, if I tricked you into signing this code, I could then borrow your entire auth account at the public path. So I don't know. I like to be fully honest in this YouTube channel. I am actually kind of disturbed by this update, but it is what it is, and this is what we're dealing with. So it's better to make people aware of it than to try and hide behind it. But anyways, the main point of it, I believe, is to use it as a private capability, because obviously if you expose it to the public again, then everyone can access it and your account goes to waste. Um, so yeah. So with that being said, they actually provided an example that I wanted to show you today. And I actually made an entire like Excalibur diagram to try and show you what they're doing. So there's a couple things in this contract. We're actually going to zoom in a bit here to get a better understanding of what's going on, and then we'll slowly zoom out. So the idea of walletless onboarding is that you base, and again you can read about it in this article, or I think this also links out to other posts that have been made. But the idea with walletless onboarding is, right now in the blockchain world, you have a certain application, right? You have a DApp that maybe it's a game, right? And that game has control over your wallet. It's a custodial wallet. And the reason for that is to make the experience better. So you want to be able to have users sign up for your game, and if they click a button, you automatically can transfer the NFT without having to ask for approval every time, right? Because in your backend, you're controlling their wallet. It's very easy to manage a game, or a very quick experience, whatever like experience you're trying to make, right? Whether it's maybe you're trying to make Instagram, and you want users to be able to make posts, and you get the point, right? Like it's a custodial wallet, and the DApp is controlling it. However, the issue then is it's like, well, that's kind of against the whole blockchain nature. When you then want to go out and have full ownership of your wallet, or take your assets and sell them on a marketplace outside of the DApp experience, can't do that, right? Because the DApp again has control over your account. You can't do anything with your assets. So the idea here is to allow people to still interact with the dApp, but then eventually almost graduate their wallet to being controlled by what's called the parent account. Now, the parent account will have total control over the custodial wallet that you have in the dApp, right? When you choose to make that jump, you can choose to basically have another parent account take control over your in-app, custom experience wallet, and then that way, you can still the dApp can still do its thing on that, on that custodial wallet. But at any point, because you own the parent account, you can transfer assets out of the child, and then and then take your assets into the broader blockchain world, and try and sell them on marketplaces or transfer them into different app experiences. You get the point, right? Or not. Maybe I explained this terribly, and you can always read about it. Actually, Deet has a amazing piece on this, and I'm sure you can probably find it somewhere in here, if you want to read about it. Here we go. So there's actually this Walletless onboarding link. So check this out. I think Deet was the mastermind behind this, so obviously worth a read. Check it out. But on the more technical note, they have this contract here where they're trying to show you how this would be used. They have a contract called child account, and essentially what's happening in this contract is they're defining basically a resource that the parent account will own, and then the parent account will be able to basically create child accounts inside of a resource by literally creating a child account and then signaling that to that child account that it is its parent. So there's this resource you can actually look at it. It's called child account. What's it called? Controller, that is literally just a type that defines a sort of a child account. It has an auth account capability to the child account, that also has a capability to the child account tag, which is really just information about that child account. Who's its parent, what is its address, and also just some other info like name and description and stuff like that. So you have this controller, right? And then when you zoom out a bit, we have what's called a child account manager that we can look up here. Manager. That is essentially what the parent account would own in order to create children. So we can see that this child account manager has a bunch of child account controllers inside of it, and these are all of its children. And so the how auth account capabilities are being used is, if we actually scroll down to this function called create child account, what's happening is someone is passing in a auth account here. That's going to basically be the payer for the new account. It's going to create a new account, put a new key on it, fund it with some flow token, and then the most interesting part is down here, where we actually take that new account that we generated and we call that link account function that I was just showing you in VS Code, where it's linking that new account to a private path, and then storing that capability inside of the child account controller, which is right here, this blue box, and then it's getting stored right here as the auth account capability. So that way, the parent, which is the child account manager, you can see it's sort of like similar things here, can at any time call in, get a reference to one of its child account controllers. And I believe it actually does that. Let me zoom out a bit. There's a function right here called get child account controller reference, where the parent can get a reference to any of its controllers, and then from there, be able to borrow its auth account and have control over that account that it's created. So I hope this was helpful for you. I obviously have some complaints about this kind of stuff, with the whole public stuff, but I think it's pretty exciting, and I'm really looking forward to see, if there's any cool dApps that utilize this feature. So, yeah, that's all I have for you, and hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot.